What's up, guys? I'm back. I got my MSi GT72. I'm swapping hard drives. I got it flipped over. I took out my screws, and I just basically, once your screws are out, you got to pull here, and then once you kind of snap this out, and this part slides forward, no problem. And here you've got your drive slots. Underneath this board, there's another slot. And some of the older ones I've seen have 4 slots, so that's something you may not realize. You know, if you take this board, you'll see on the underside another slot just like this. And so this one here we have is a Kingston. It's a 512 gigabyte. It's you can see that it has 2 key slots. I'll show you when I take it out. And basically, it's limited to SATA speeds, which is fine. It's still a huge improvement over a spinning drive. Yet, if you go to NVMe, you're looking at quadrupling the speed. But you can see you have 2 different keys right there. And an NVMe drive is just going to have the 1 key slot. Now what's interesting is this drive, it fits in here like this, but my NVMe drive, this is a Samsung 970 Evo Plus, it actually will not fit in this drive. Because basically the key slot causes me to have to flip it over, and it doesn't quite line up with that hole. And I noticed the same thing in one of my USB-C external drives, that the NVMe drive won't fit in that slot. But what it will fit in is this slot, which has the key on the other side, and of course it has a cooling pad there as well. So something to be aware of. This type of drive actually did fit the NVMe, one of these external drives, whereas this type of drive did not. This one, it caused me to try to flip it over upside down, and it won't quite fit in that slot. So that this type of drive is only good for the Kingston, the style that came out with the 2 key slots, won't work with an NVMe drive. So something to be aware of. One little minor detail. Drop my screw here. These things are so tiny. It kind of came popping out at me. I don't have a wrist strap on protecting from static. I should, especially because it's winter and I'm wearing like plastic clothes, but I do recommend that you wear some kind of a wrist strap, protect this sensitive gear from electrostatic shock, electrostatic discharge. Of course, most people you see on YouTube, they don't. Most DIYers, they don't wear a strap, and I don't. I'm guilty of it. Alright, so there we go. You can see it's got 2 RAM slots here. There's 2 other RAM slots underneath the board. In order to get to them, you have to take the computer completely apart. And there's 2 8 gigabyte, 2133 megahertz sticks in there. And I've never really had, I don't do the kind of computing that would require more than 16 gigabytes of RAM. But you can upgrade this if you wanted to. You can take it all apart and put 16s on the back and 16s here and have 64 gigabytes. You might even be able to just put a pair of 32s in these slots. I'm not sure. Wouldn't surprise me. But you've got your I got a 2 terabyte drive here, a spinning drive. There's another slot here for a hard drive, but there's no power cable or anything going to it. So you could either, you can buy a cable that will split your power. I saw a video where somebody did it on this, on an earlier version of this laptop. This is the mid 2016 version. It's the 6QD. It's got the Skylake motherboard. So there's going to be some slight differences between this and the earlier versions. But yeah, it's a great computer, and this really should help wake it up. It was great with the Kingston SSD, but it's going to be a lot better with this SSD, noticeably faster, especially for when you're remuxing video files or anything like that. You're going to use a lot of speed, and really you're just opening this computer up to let the processor become your bottleneck instead of your drive speed. So it'll be great for general computing, but also for anything that's going to be moving a lot of files and data around. I usually put an 80 gigabyte partition on here for drive C. You don't need partitions as much as you used to when you're dealing with SSDs, but I guess it's an old habit, so I keep my drive C, all my Windows stuff, all my software on an 80 gigabyte partition, and I usually don't end up with more than 40 gigs of stuff on there. So the rest of the drive I use as a working space for editing video files and things like that. Alright guys, if you have any questions, please post them up. Thank you for watching. And like I said, I don't usually ask for subscribers because this channel is not set up for subscribership. I have too many different topics. But YouTube, almost, it kind of goes against you if you don't have a lot of subscribers, even if you do have a lot of watch time. My videos are designed to show up in search results, not for subscriberships, but they demonetize me because I don't have enough subscribers. So if you do subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.